Warning: federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107.
Let's talk about real life issues, love and relationships. Let's have a good time with the missus, yeah. Celebrities. Let's talk about current events. Let's talk about things you don't see on regular TV. So join in on PGT time. PGT time. Tune in on PGT time. PGT time. Come join us on PGT time. PGT time. Join us on PGT time. PGT time. Yeah.
In order for y'all to do what God is calling y'all to do, to take y'all platform for it to plateau and it can go to levels that you never seen, they'll best believe it's gonna come with devils.
You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. I don't want them to be like they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. But I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody going to clean it up.
Me. It's your girl, the missus with the kisses, baby. And now y'all call me Miss Peachy. But it's all good, whatever you want to call me, baby. I'm still the same person. What it is, y'all, what it is over there on y'all block, baby, is a goodie. It's a goodie on y'all block. Because it's goodie on mine. It is goodie on mine. They just said that somebody didn't. I can't tell y'all what they just said on. I can't tell y'all. I was just about to tell y'all what they said on my Ring app. But if I tell y'all, then some of y'all may be in my neighborhood. And damn it, there it go. I done told y'all where I stand. So no, I can't tell y'all what they said, but baby, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy at all. But anyways, back to the show, baby. Back to the show. We got a family here. We have a family here tonight. A mom. She is here. Oh, let me take this banner down. Let me take it down and put this one up. Welcome. Welcome to BT Time. I went on my game right there. But we have a mother here, y'all. She is here to tell her loved one's story, which is her son. Um, Baby, it's gonna be a show tonight. It's gonna be a show tonight. But of course, I cannot do my show without my brother. Yes, my brother. Not Corey. No, not Corey. Jason. My brother from another mother.
Yeah, sure. What up, though? What's good? What's good, sis? How you holding up?
I'm good. I'm holding up very well. Thanks for asking. But yes, I am
Love it.
great, actually.
Shout out to
Mhm.
Corey though. We ain't gonna not shout him out. You heard?
Yeah, shout out to Corey. Now back to the original program. I love my brother.
I love my
But
brother.
if you
Right.
know, you know. That's all
That
I'm
part.
saying.
Hey, look. I already know it. You heard? Like I already feel it. No, but shout out to everybody else that's in the building, man. We see BG in the building, Gisette, Joyce. We see all of y'all in the building with us. We see everyone. We thank y'all so much. If we missed you and didn't say hello to you personally, go ahead and say hello or what up, though, in the chat. So then that way we can personally say hello. You feel me? While we got the opportunity to do so. I hope all is having a good day. I'm excited. Reason why I'm excited is because fall is around the corner. You heard? I'm a big fall baby.
Yes.
My birthday's in fall. I like fall. I like to dress up with fall gear. I like to change the colors. I like the trees changing. I love it. I love it. Fall is my shit. You hear me?
Well, the only reason why I like fall and winter because that means I can wear my hoodies.
That
It's
part.
hoodie season, baby.
It's hoodie
So
season.
y'all gonna
Sweater
see
weather.
me in my hoodies.
Sweater weather.
Yes, yes, nice little sweater. You can find you a
Mm,
nice one over there at Kohl's, you
yeah.
know, Target. Hell, you might find one at Walmart.
That's how
You know what I'm saying? Now,
cardigans at. I found them
15 to
all.
20 million other people gonna have that same sweater. But it's okay.
Or you start supporting your small local businesses, man. Local clothing
Yes.
companies, small companies that are putting out sweaters and different, knickknacks where you can add a piece to your wardrobe. I learned that. I got a nice little lady friend. She tells me you got to add pieces to your wardrobe. I said, I hear you,
Mm,
darling. I hear you. So I'm gonna start adding pieces to the wardrobe ensemble. You hear me?
okay. Well, we can't go on either without bringing up our counselor for tonight, Miss Charlotte, baby. Hey,
Mhm.
Charlotte, girl, how you doing?
We
Charlotte,
can't
we
hear
can't
you.
hear you. Oh, you on mute.
I'm
I about
there.
to
I
say,
am.
Lord,
Hey,
please let it be something easy that we can fix, please.
well, good evening, everybody. Good evening. I mean, y'all were talking my language when it come to adding pieces. Like, yeah, that's right down. And she's right. You add, just a little piece here and there. You don't have to make it up all over. You just, keep adding to what you have,
All
creating.
right, now. All right, now.
It
All right,
is.
now. Well, y'all have gotten a little piece of advice during Peachy News. Clothing
Okay.
advice. Something that ain't
Clothing
got
advice.
nothing to do with Wednesday nights.
Nothing.
But it's
Nothing.
okay. Shout out.
That's
Shout out.
that's the start of things, right? But before we go any further, though, we want to say thank you for Charlotte for pulling up on us. We love you a
Yes.
part of the platform and the team.
You.
And
I
if anybody
love
else
her.
wants to be a part of the platform and the team, it is super easy to do so. All you gotta do is hit the follow button right now. That way you can become a part of the Peachy Tea Time News Edition on Wednesdays, and also about a part of the Peachy Tea Time Network throughout the week. There's shows that's processing and going on all week, whether it's a Monday, whether it's a Wednesday, whether it's a Friday, or sometimes Saturday. If you hit that follow button, you'll be engaged with us on any of those days. Now, what's dope is if you hit the bell notification, you'll be notified when we go live, so you won't miss a show at all.
Mm,
Or even if it's a pop up, because Peachy be popping up sometimes. You know what I'm saying? News got to be
those feet.
broadcasted, so she pops up. So you don't want to miss any of those pop ups as well. Now, what's awesome is we're over on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, and Roku. That's right, Roku. So if you guys want to watch all of the Wednesday shows from our live sessions on Roku, you can surely go do so. Super easy to do. All you gotta do is go to your Roku app, just like how you download Hulu, Hulu, all the other apps like that, Netflix or whatnot on Roku. You download Peachy Tea Time the same way. That's Peachy Tea Time, time spelt with the Y, TYME, and you'll be able to watch all the previous shows and the live show that we have on Wednesday nights. You heard?
She be
Yeah.
Also,
busy, baby. She
hit
be
the thumbs up.
busy.
I try to be. I try to be. I got so much going on. Friday I will be launching my t-shirts and my tumbler cups. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. Yeah. So, but we'll talk about that on Friday. Make sure y'all tune in. All right, y'all. So it was something else I about to say. Your sweater. Show everybody your sweater, Charlotte.
Oh, well, this is I'm sorry.
I
This is
know you girl, they may have thought that I made it for you.
I'm sorry. Oh, my bad.
I didn't know, y'all didn't. And Jason, that's what I was gonna say too. Jason, you kind of scared me for a minute when you told them if they want to be part of the team, all they got to do is hit the like button. No, that's not true, y'all. That ain't true. That ain't true. Now y'all can just be part of the whole Peach Tea Time family
I,
if you hit that
I
like button and
see
share
you.
button and
You
all
adding
that.
you
But
adding
it take
complications.
a whole lot more to be part of the Peach Tea Time team. A whole
You
lot
adding
more.
complications to it, girl.
Yes.
People knew what I
Yes.
was
I was
talking
like,
about.
what? What he just say? My heart dropped for a second. What this nigga crazy? But I love you all so much. But let's go ahead and get started and bring up our guest tonight, Miss Tanjineka. Hey, beautiful. How are you? Your mute button on. Can you hit the mute button for me? Okay. Now
Well,
that's the only time you're gonna have to hit the mute button, girl. That's the only time.
okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, Jason.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Trusting us with your son's story just as well. Me and you have talked over the phone.
Yes.
Yes, we have talked on the phone. We had a long, deep conversation.
Yes.
About every look, she said, yes, sweetie. About everything that occurred. And I'm honored that you trust me to bring it to a PGT Time platform. And like I told you over the phone, when my guests come onto the show, my platform becomes their platform. So I want you to be able to feel comfortable, share with everyone, as much as you want to tell, as much as you can tell, just as well. And we are here to listen. Okay. So let's start off with your baby Jaquan. Tell
Well,
us about him.
before we start off with Jaquan, I want to tell you I appreciate everything that you do. I were
Mm,
introduced. I was. You were brought to my attention from a late nephew's mother. I call
mm.
her my niece. So I really appreciate what you do for the mothers out there, especially with the grieving mothers and the gun violence.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. I appreciate that. But so go ahead. Let us know about Jaquan. I appreciate that
Well,
though.
Jaquan, I don't know where to start. He was very unique. He was a very unique young man. And what I mean by unique, there are racist people out there and they love Jaquan. It was
Mm,
racist people. And they'll tell you they was racist. So, it's hard to really share about my baby. Not hard, but hard as I don't want to be emotional here on your show.
it's
Jaquan,
okay. Take your time, girl. Take your time. It's okay.
Jaquan was a very spiritual young man. He still is. Jaquan's very spiritual, very creative. He was in production. Um, he was into the community. What else? Very passionate of others and very have a lot of consideration. I used to call him my Jesus baby, my Lord, because he was different. He was very different. Um, Jaquan didn't like school, but he will utilize it to get where he has to go. So he knew that knowledge was key. He
Mhm.
also wanted to be a minister, you know, to attend
Thank
uh, to attend college for ministry in was it Maryland, the Browns. Come on, y'all have to like
Oh
interact.
no, no, we don't want to. No, we don't want to interrupt.
Uh,
Tanjanika, let me tell you. My mama called me. She's on the show right now. Mama Peach. Hey, Mama Peach. My mama calls me after the show, and she'll tell me, you know what, you was just talking a little bit too much. Let your guest speak. She'll tell me that in a heartbeat. But no. I apologize for that.
no
So,
worries.
how old was Jaquan when this tragedy occurred?
Jaquan was 20 years old.
Okay.
Um, when the tragedy occurred, it was in February. It was actually around the year anniversary of my father's death.
Okay.
I know COVID was just coming out. They were speaking about COVID and stuff like that.
Mm.
So he was in college. He was going to Georgia State University. As I said, he was with the production. He enjoyed production. He did very well at DeKalb, Southwest DeKalb, big ups to
Okay.
Southwest DeKalb, and Towers High School. Channel 23 News is where Southwest DeKalb had helped him with a internship. So he was there. So he's really in production. And Jaquan didn't like college, but he was excited about it at this time because he was told Tyler Perry have it where if you go to Georgia State, you can go to Tyler Perry production team.
Okay.
So he was going. We were going to school. It was a particular day. It was a rainy day. Jaquan just bought his new car, and it was in his own insurance and his own name. Everybody was like, it's going to be expensive because it's age. And I said, God got me. So it wasn't going to be in my name. So we put everything in his name. And it was a rainy day. And I had asked Jaquan to stay home. I was like, don't you want to just stay home? You know, as a mother, certain feelings come across you when it comes to your children. Some of us may be a little bit overprotective, but it's just a feeling that comes over. And I had asked him to stay home. And he looked at me like I was crazy because he wanted to get these credits. You have to have, I believe, enough credits for associates to go to this Tyler Perry show. I mean, production team with Georgia State University. And he looked at me as if I was speaking Spanish or Japanese. And he was like, Mom, I'm going to school. And I asked him again. I was like, well, I just want you to stay home with me. I try to put on my disability. You know, I have lupus and RA. So I was trying to put that on him. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, a little guilt to keep him home.
Now, where you wasn't in Georgia?
Yes, I was living in Stonecrest at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he had a class at the Panthersville location of Georgia State University.
Okay. So this is something that he loved to do. Did he enjoy school when he was there? While he was there?
Well, he didn't enjoy Georgia State.
Yeah, Georgia State.
Yes, he did enjoy school, but he wasn't the type of student that liked the school. He wanted, but he had to go. He had to attend to join the production training or school. I don't actually know what Tyler Perry has, but I know they told him he had to attend Georgia State to attend this program.
Okay. So during that time, was that the time that the accident occurred, the car accident?
Yes, I am still speaking about that particular day. So at this time, we're going to say it's February 17th. It's a rainy day. February 17th, 2020. It's a rainy day. All I know, I get a phone call. My son speaks. If anybody know Jaquan, he speaks at one tone. If you ever hear him get out of his tone, everybody needs to move out the way. But he called me on his regular tone and he said, Mom, I was in an accident. As a proud mom who son bought his own car and it's in his own name and insurance in his own name, I was like, well, you have an insurance, show him your card.
Exactly.
You'll be okay. And he said, no, Mom, it's pretty bad. And I was like, well, how bad? Now I'm at the point where I'm listening because, like I said, he speaks at one tone. And I thank God that he speaks like that because we as parents react and may panic. So he said a pole fell. And I said, well, what kind of pole? Is a stop sign pole? He was like, no, a pole fell. I'm not thinking of a utility pole. So I was like, ooh, well, just show them your insurance card. You're going to have to pay for the pole, And he said, no, Mom, you need to get down here. Now, at this time, Jaquan only had the car, him and my niece, Nene, who's supposed to be coming on to the show. They had a fender bender with mine. So mine was just sitting over there to the side. So I called a lift. And oh, look at my baby.
He's so handsome.
That's my baby. So I caught the lift to the location. And Peachy, I'm telling you, when I got there, I was like, what the heavens? It was cars flipped over, cars on fire.
Oh my gosh.
Cars out of fire. The utility pole. I'm looking for my son. I'm looking for my son. He managed to. He wanted me there because he was a black male and he was uncomfortable of communicating with the police, about the incident. And shout out to DeKalb County Police too, by the way. I know some people do not want to hear that, but they were good to me and my family. All I know, I seen him speaking to Jaquan because I was like, whatever you do, I'm coming. If you, we'll explain to them why you went on the college property at the time because that's where he felt safe. Peachy, I'm telling you, my baby car was smushed. I walked up and seen my son speaking to the officials, and I just seen their eyes were so big and wide. They looked at me. Everything was in a standstill, like a matrix, like a slow motion. And it gave me time to breathe in my nose and out my mouth. They said the officials told me what happened. It was a speeding driver. It was wet. It slipped. And they was like, your son don't want to get into the ambulance. He's worried about the man that the truck flipped over to actually hit the utility pole. And my baby ain't have a scratch on him. He was like, Mom, I just want to take you home. I just wanted you here and we go home. I was like, you sure don't want to get in? I tried to get him into the truck and he refused to be seen. And I'm shivering a little bit because how strong, just remembering what's going on. So he wanted to go home. We went home and I talked to him to seek medical attention because the utility was smushed. And I didn't send that picture to you. I didn't send it. I didn't want to really be too emotional on here. So
yeah.
I was like, you have to go see someone. And he went back there. He didn't want me back there. Only thing I know he had was his hand was swollen. So he had to brace himself for his hand to be swollen, but no cuts, no bruises, nothing.
My number God.
Right. And that part.
Now the other person that he was concerned about, the truck that flipped, did that person make it?
He did make it. I believe he was in his mid-60s. And they said he was more worried about my son, didn't help him because his truck is the one that had flipped over and caught to fire.
Okay.
So I just know my son just was worried about him all the way up to the last time I saw my son.
Wow. Now, one thing you mentioned to me was when you saw your son, you felt like he was different.
Himself. Correct. He was Jaquan, but he wasn't Jaquan. I can't explain it. He had like sheep, and if you're not as how can I say this in a very nice way? Because religious and politics is two conversations you don't like to have. But if you're not as spiritual as Jaquan was,
yeah,
you wouldn't understand what a she is. And me as a female, I can't explain a she. A man has to. So he came to me as just this spiritual being, like he wasn't himself, but he was himself. He was more as he came to me to deliver a message.
Wow. And how long was it before he committed suicide from that accident?
Wow, you jumping the tracks. Well, it took about, the accident happened February 17th. March 25th, 2020 is when Jaquan walked out the door. Is when we last seen him. During those months, Jaquan had like memory loss, and how can I say, he could not eat. He couldn't eat. He couldn't hold down no water. And I was like, I watched my baby pretty much suffer because he couldn't eat. He put down water. And what do a mother first reaction is? you have someone pregnant.
Mm.
You're sick. And he had a couple memory loss, and he kept saying, "Mom, I was supposed to go in that accident." And I told Jaquan, I said, "Well, this is absurd. No, you wasn't. It happened around Grandpa's anniversary, which was my father, and God, by grace of God, He saved you. You don't deserve a sudden death." But he was like, "Mom, I was supposed to go in that
He
accident."
actually said that?
Over and over.
Wow.
A question: Did anybody pass in that accident?
No, thank you, Lord. No one passed in that accident.
Okay.
Hurt, yes.
Before all of this, can you speak to like his character about life, like whether it's high school, early education, in those ages where we're talking, let's say 10 to 18, how was his spirits about life and enjoyment and joyfulness?
You know what? Jaquan was more like a spiritual emo, if that mixed. Did I say it right? Emo?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, I was just telling my daughter, it's a real going on where a young man be like, "I want to die by the sea," irritating his father. It's comical, but it's also saddened because, it's a depression. And Jaquan had a lot of sadness. I have went through a lot. My children had experienced and went through a lot. We had it was tough with the family. Put it this way, when you don't have family support, it's hard to raise a child.
Absolutely. When you don't have a village,
you can't do it. So they didn't receive a lot of confirmation. If they receive confirmation, they'll receive it from off of a stranger, which is good because God will put people in your life, to guide you along the way. But Jaquan was still immature. He wasn't your average 20-year-old. Jaquan, when I mean by immature, I'm talking about maybe the street life, but when you're immature and you're growing, you're trying to find yourself as a Black male because he wanted to do right. But in this day and aura, it's like if you do right, you're corny.
Exactly.
You get no buzz. And he was very creative, like when he graduated, Jaquan graduated with honors. I mean, he was loved throughout the school. When we moved to Georgia, he was in the 9th or 10th grade. He didn't have any classes. He was advanced.
Where did you guys move from?
We moved from Burlington, New Jersey. I'm from Camden, New Jersey, but they were raised in Florence and New Jersey, in Burlington.
Random weird question, because this is just gonna help me like kind of gauge in a little bit more about Jaquan. Was he a proper speaking child?
He was very mannerly. Yes.
All right, that says a lot.
Some will say, "Oh, you sound white," but what's white?
Now you in Georgia?
But you know what? I'm glad I brought him to Georgia. It's so many Black males that's very successful and wear suits
to be
when they working and they at these schools. So they already knew the type of young man he was. So they grabbed him and they moved him in spaces where he can grow mentally and artistically. He was in the leaderships. What is it? Leaderships. Oh God, my teacher's gonna be mad. I don't remember it.
All right.
Is it LBA? Leadership.
FLB. The FBLA.
Future leaders.
Future business leaders. Yes.
Thank you. Of Atlanta.
Thank you, Charlie. I sure didn't know what the hell. But my kids gotta get a little bit older.
And DeKalb County schools loved him. His business, he won first place. It put Georgia on the map. So he became like the superstar of the cool geeky kids. So,
now, did he have a lot of friends? Like
yes. I don't know if they're watching, but they still reach out to this day. They come over for holidays. They know his favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. Where I currently lived, if I need my yard raked with the leaves, it was just He had some beautiful friends,
Awesome.
and
Awesome.
still do.
You said, and still do. And still do.
Yes.
Charlotte, anything you want to say right now?
Just I'm enjoying the story and hearing about him. It just a little bit what I've gathered is it just sounds as though that particular day caused a change in what I kind of understand it to be or what I believe it to be was PTSD that he suffered from even after. And we have to understand that, trauma is trauma. It doesn't have to be, we
Mhm.
all always think that trauma has to be something that, someone hits you or touches you, but a car accident can simply be trauma that we face. And it does, it's anything that alters the chemistry in your brain and changes the way that you view things. And so we have to, be very cognitive of that, especially as with our children, that when they
Mhm.
experience and they see things, a lot of times listening and having those conversations, and a lot of times they walk around thinking, or we're thinking that they're okay, but they're little telltale signs. And so, Mom, you're doing a great job of sharing your story,
Well,
because
thank you.
there are other parents that are going to be listening, and they're going to, just to be able to say, hey, you remember I heard her say.
Exactly.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I just want to say this is water. It wasn't a beer.
Girl, you are more than welcome to drink on the show.
Oh, cool.
The show is also explicit language, and also allegedly. I always have to say that on the show. But I just want to mention that there is still a time. I still deal with it, with trauma that occurred in my life ever since I was 9 years old. And I remember my mom sent me out to go and stay with my aunt, my mom's sister, in Saginaw. But I was living in JYQUAN, so it was maybe like almost 3 hour drive. And I was going there for the summer. And when I went, my cousin, she was supposed to went to the Michael Jackson concert with her boyfriend. And she
Mm.
got dressed up and everything to go. She was a teenager. She was older than me. And she got dressed up to go, and he never bought the ticket. And at the end of the concert, one of the radio DJs called her and asked her for a ride. Him and his friend, they had left the concert. So I wanted to go. I'm like, I want to ride with you. I want to ride with you. And she was just going to pick him up, take him home. And we went to go pick them up. We dropped the first guy off. And on our way to go drop the DJ off, I remember her boyfriend saw us. And he was in the passenger side of a vehicle, and he was throwing bottles at my TT car, study chasing
Mm.
us. My cousin, she's just driving erratically because she's afraid. The DJ, he in the backseat yelling and screaming. I was in the front seat with her. And I remember he cut us off. Excuse me, he cut us off. And well, he didn't, but the driver cut us off by some train tracks. And he gets out the car, and I remember he pointed the gun and just started shooting.
Oh
And
wow.
it never hit the car. She's trying to turn around and everything. And she's panicking. Finally, she got it turned around. We're speeding down the street. He still had to have time to get back in his car. So we was able to get away. We jumped on the highway, came back, and I remember my TT came and got us, and we went back home. But I still stayed there, Tanjinika,
Mm.
for the remaining of the summer because I was too afraid to tell my mom. I will never forget that. I was too afraid to tell my mom because I knew she was gonna come get me, and my auntie was gonna be sad. So when I got home, that's when I told my mom. And my mom was very upset. But to this day, the trauma that lies within that is I'm so afraid of guns.
Mm.
I call them mouse tools on the show. I'm so afraid of them. And it's not because of the crime that's going on out here, just because of that particular night. And I'm so afraid of them that I feel like it can go off on its own. And we all know
Yes.
that that's not possible. We all know that's not possible. I have one for protection,
Mhm.
but you should see how I carry it, Tanjanika, in my pocket. like it's gonna go off on its own.
I'm the
scared to
same
sit
way.
it down. Yeah, I'm scared to sit my purse down anywhere because I'm scared it's just gonna go off. But I have realized that is trauma. That's trauma for me because there's no way I should think that it's gonna go off on its damn own. There's no way possible. So
Yeah,
yeah, trauma
trauma
is something
is.
real.
It is. Because I was one of, I wasn't always saved. I was the baka baka. And now I'm like,
She was the baka baka.
now I'm like, carrying the purse with, sitting it down.
Mhm.
So, yes, trauma. And, speaking of the trauma, Jaquan start acting different, and I felt it. I felt that something wasn't right. And I needed someone to speak to my son. I remember calling all the men in the family. And I remind y'all, this is during COVID. So,
Mm.
and spoke to all the men in the family. Everybody was, I'm going to be sarcastic and say buy crabs because I'm just bitter right now. They,
It's okay.
but everybody was busy. I'll try to call everybody. I even called the hotline. What was it? 1-800 suicide, or what is that the main number? And it's the main, and they put it on commercials everywhere.
The 273 talk number.
No,
1-800.
it was a suicide hotline.
Okay, yeah.
It pertained to the suicide hotline.
Okay.
And Kingston, go ring that bell, please. I apologize.
Oh, we can't even hear them. Like you can't really hear them.
Okay, cool beings, but they just fighting. They fighting.
She talking about her dogs, y'all. She talking about her dogs.
Yes, I love my babies. My son brought them to me in my dream. I love them dearly.
Oh.
We were talking about the suicide hotline. So I called them. And when you're a parent, they look at you as you call in because your child's getting on your nerves, or, they didn't even screen me. They didn't screen me. I couldn't tell by what, I don't know if it was a Caucasian or a brown person. I couldn't tell. I just know she was like, I called and I was like, ma'am, I need help. Something's not right with my son. And before I could even, if she would have screened me properly, we would have got to the accident, that utility pole. And she was like, well, you can't just call here and say something's not right with your son. And I was like, it's not. And at this time, I'm panicking. Remind you, she haven't properly screened me, and right now my Bibles are moving, So I was like, yes, it's suicide. I feel a suicide spirit. And she said, ma'am, you can't call here talking about you feel no suicide spirit. And if your son feels like something's wrong with them, he can go to the local hospital.
How far in advance was this? Was this close to the time of, or was this like weeks before that you had this feeling or concern that you, well, not even the feeling that you called and you reached out to them?
No, I remember exactly when I reached out to them because it was a shutdown. We shut down March 3rd. So it happened immediately because I called our family lawyer. We have a family lawyer. So I called him and I'm panicking. I'm like, Jaquan's not acting right. He's not himself. And he was like, you know what? And I told him about what happened. And that, I don't know if at that time it wasn't, what is it? It was DeKalb County, Hillendale. At that time, it was that. Right now it's Emory. Yes. I don't know. They took him in the back. They brought him back out front so fast. I don't know if they checked him sincerely. And I don't know what he communicated with those doctors because he was of age.
Yes, being of that age.
But he was of age. So he was like, I'm sending you a car. I'm taking him to go get a CT. So the car came, he sent the car, and he sent him to get the CAT scan. And I'm waiting for the results. What happened March 3rd? We had the shutdown. We had the mandatory lockdown. Now we locked down. He kept saying, Mom, I need to go to the beach. I need to go to the beach. Something was saying, Tanji, take your child to the beach. But the human part of me was saying it's COVID. You know, I'm not going out there. You know, and officials
That
they made
damn March is still kind of cold too.
Don't matter.
it didn't.
The,
Thank you,
the,
Jason. Thank
the
you,
world
Yeah.
Jason.
scared us. The world told us you can't go outside. I feel you. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But my son kept saying he need to go dip in some beach water.
Somebody's
I
water.
didn't
You need to be in
understand
somebody's
that at
water.
that time.
Yeah.
That was
I'm
his
not.
safe place. Do you believe that that was his safe place?
No, it's not.
That,
It's a
okay.
spiritual thing. It's
Okay.
you know,
That's my
really
safe place, my spiritual place. So I
when
understand.
it, during baptism, that's where they were baptized at the bleach water. Dealing with Hindus, or no disrespect, but what they call it when you want to get any type of bad oma or spirit off of you, that's where they
Being
to salt.
washed. Yeah.
So I'm not knowing it at this time. I just
Yeah.
know he said, "Mom, we need to go to the beach." Now I go to the beach every his birthday. I'm dipping in that water. So
Oh.
and I didn't take him. I in my house, I don't know if you can really see, but they always been brought up with different Bibles, the Quran open in the house, different versions of the Bible. And he were going to all the setups, reading the Bible, like, what are you looking for? You know, I'm like, what are you looking for?
The truth.
We should be happy that our child go read the Bible.
Amen.
Exactly.
But I knew he was looking for something, and I'm like, what are you reading that Bible for? We don't even know how to speak Arabic. What are you doing at that Bible? You know, you can flip the
Exactly.
page, but he just wasn't himself. He just kept telling me, you know, things that, you know, what good of a mother I am. You know, don't let nobody. He was just telling me a lot of private things, you know, for me. It's
To know. He wanted you to know. He didn't want to leave here without you knowing how he truly felt.
you know, no, not even. And it's still saying that my baby wasn't drinking or eating. So I'm
Yeah.
watching him within seconds and minutes of him losing weight. You know, he was a wrestler. He was very muscular and strong. I didn't like to see his face sunken. Now I'm like, is my son on drugs? You know, I try to eliminate everything because I did not want to believe that my child is going to commit suicide.
Now you did mention to me that he was still going places too, just as
Yes.
well. Like he wasn't just
Um,
stuck in the house,
no,
not eating and was getting sicker and sicker and sicker like that. He was
no, no,
literally
no.
going places, she said.
Yes. The Cab County schools, we were passing out fruits and vegetables, whatever that we could, to families during the COVID. It was the employees, but he volunteered. Like he helped me. Oh, look at my baby. And he volunteered to help, and they loved him. Like we had our own. Me and Jaquan had our own business. I remember they needed something that we had a book of, and he was like, "Mom, I'll go get it." You know, he took a while for him coming back because he didn't want to tell me I'm having a memory. He didn't want me to worry that he couldn't remember. You know, it was even people who had rings, you know, the ring cameras.
Yeah.
And they were like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but your son was knocking on my door trying to get in. And I have him on my ring. And I'm like, what, you know, what's going on? I'm still not thinking about no concussion.
I was about to say, it seems as though he suffered a concussion.
We found that out after the fact.
Yeah, he suffered from a concussion
questions.
during the accident, and it
whole
wasn't
right
treated.
side.
I was gonna say, it sounds like, to be honest with you, I'm so happy that you're speaking to the truth of your son. But in my world, I was like, he had CTE. At the end, I already knew what it was, because it was like, all right. My question to you was going to be, at any point after the accident, did you guys get the CAT scan? Then you told it, and now my question would have been, did you get results? And that would have told you everything.
Right. Have I gotten results?
Have you gotten
that
them?
would
Yes.
have told me everything. Have I knew all the resources that's in the Atlanta metro area who would help, instead of me calling
Separate
suicide
center.
hotline,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't even think of research at that time because remember, mind you, we're panicking about the COVID. We're panicking about my son is panicking that we don't have a car. You know, it was just so
Stressful.
much going right. And I'm still worrying about why he not eating. Like my children never had. If they ate cereal, it was a snack. I knew they smoked some marijuana if they eating some milk and some cereal. Okay? Put it that way. They had home cooked meals, breakfast to school, college. I mean, my grandchildren will look at me crazy if they don't get a hot meal. So by him not eating, she giggling over there. By him not eating, you know,
It was a true sign for you.
yeah, it was weird. It was crazy. I was like, what's I knew that wasn't my child. My child don't play about my smothered potatoes or nothing like mm-mm.
Stop playing.
From real like I try to make everything that I knew was his favorite and didn't work.
It's amazing how, our bodies work and our minds are so fragile. We just don't understand just how fragile they really are. We take a lot of things for granted in our lives, and in the blink of an eye, things can change for you. And not only was it PTSD, but he actually suffered from a traumatic brain injury is what it's sounding like. So he truly had some things going on. And as a mom, we have those feelings, but we just can't put our fingers on them. But you're a blessing. You are a blessing. And again, it's not for nothing. Just know that.
Yeah, because you spoke of the scientific method of it, but if you speak on the spiritual aspect of it, you got to remember, Jaquan kept saying, "I supposed to died in that accident." He still was saying it. I wanted to choke him. Jaquan never had been disciplined. Never. Like I told him, I said, "You can't leave this earth without getting a spanking." So if I got my behind whoop, you getting your behind whoop. Like he probably got his hand popped like no, but that's not a spanking. I'm talking about like sit your ass down. I'ma beat you.
Exactly. Exactly.
A whipping or nothing like that.
Exactly. So, you talk with it.
I'm gonna put you over my knee, and I'm gonna spam and get 21 legs.
So I have a question for you then, and on a spiritual note. So even since that time has passed, has there been anyone that has come to you and told you of any stories in between the accident and his death of things that he did for them?
Put a clap for her, Peachy.
There's a reason. There's always a reason. There's always,
Put the clap.
I think God spares us for a reason, and in between those times and those things, is, as I said, not for nothing. Whatever it was that he was supposed to do, he hadn't gotten done, and so he was given that opportunity to make sure that he fulfilled whatever that prophecy was.
Yes. Well, speaking of the things that people said, thank you, Charlotte. I appreciate that. It was two. His teacher sent me a recording. And I'm talking about elementary. Jason had said he wanted to figure him out around 10. So he told it was him, his cousin Shaya, and another student. I'm not sure. But they called and they was like, the teacher, is your refrigerator running? And she said, what? She was like, is your refrigerator running? And I don't know if she said, I'm not sure or whatever. But he said, well, you need to go check it. Check it. And he cursed. Oh my God. He would have got us. If that teacher would have turned that in, he would have had his eye. You understand what I'm saying? And I was happy. I was like, okay, my child was normal. He was human. He was human. I don't know why she sent it at this time. He in college.
Yeah.
But he sent it. Now, anybody who know me know I love Coca-Cola. I'm sorry. I'm working on myself. I'm working on myself. So I hope the Cobb County Police ain't listening. Where you going now? But we were going to he and my daughter. We all went. My daughter's picking up a rental car. We were going somewhere, so she picked up a rental car. So all I know, Jaquan was like, now it was a Coca-Cola truck parked behind us. Didn't think of nothing of it. He was like, Mom, I'm going in there. make sure Shannara's okay. That's a sister. He gonna make sure, he's a man of the family. So all I know, he come back in the car and had 2 Coca-Cola bottles. And I'm looking like, I don't see no store. Where you get those from? They gave it to you. He shook his head. He lied. So my daughter got in the car. Never thought nothing of it. I was happy. I was going to get my ice from Quick Trip. So I know my daughter sent me the video. She sent me a video when she was like, I dare you. I think it was disgusting. He was like, we're about to get some soda from mommy. And she was like, I dare you. And she recorded it. And she recorded him running on the truck and grabbing the Coca-Cola and ran out the truck. I said, Shannara, you hid this from me? Now I felt betrayed. But it brought joy to my soul that my baby was human, because I was like, he never got a spanking. He never really did anything to disappoint me. Both of those things disappointed me. The profanity, the prank call, and the stealing. Well, it was Coca-Cola. You might let that slide. But
it brought joy to you, though. It was the after joy.
It was the after joy.
Wow. Now, how is Jaquan's sisters? I mean, not sisters, siblings. Siblings doing?
Well, Jaquan has 2 biological siblings. And that's his older sister and his older brother. But he was raised with 14 siblings. He was the 14th sibling. My best friend passed, and I adopted her 11 children when she passed.
Wow.
So it was 9 boys and 5 girls. And I'm talking about, he was the baby of the family. And now you will understand where I said he was the immature 20, because he wasn't in them streets. And they all loved him in their own little way. They drove me crazy, but no one played when it came to Jaquan.
Okay. I know they miss him like crazy too. I know they miss him. Well, we are about to get into a commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna go and dig deep, and we would like for you to tell us what occurred with Jaquan. And then after that, we will be showing the tribute video. So here we go. Hey y'all, it's your girl, the missus with the kisses, baby. Mwah. Thank y'all so much for joining me and Jason tonight. Thank you. And if we got a special guest, thank you, special guest. I thank you for coming, sharing your story. But y'all make sure y'all watch us each and every Wednesday, okay? Each and every Wednesday, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Where you said? You said where? Roku TV, Facebook, YouTube, and also Twitch, baby. Twitch. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Peachy Tea Time spelled with a Y. And make sure you also follow me on all the other platforms just as well. Thank you so much for joining us each and every Wednesday, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Back to the show we go, baby. We going back. Bye.
We're going to Wi-Fi.
I want to go.
I told my grandchildren, I said, first, when we get off here, we going to go get something to eat. We going to
Waffle. Waffle. I knew it was house coming next. I want to go.
I knew it was.
I knew house was coming next, baby. But yes, Tanjinika, this is probably the hardest part of the show. You explaining to us what occurred on that day. Can you start with that morning?
Well, I can start with that evening, because that's the most important. That evening I was really sick, and he kept saying I had COVID. He was like, you have COVID. I was like, no, I don't have no COVID. Now, if anybody who have lupus or RA, it do feel like a Mack truck be on you where you can't move and you're having inflammation in your joints. But it was a different kind of sickness, but I didn't want him to worry. So I could have had the COVID. So I know I showered, I got back in the bed, and Jaquan always massaged my feet clockwork at a certain time. And that helps you when you have lupus. It helps move your blood circulation in your heart. Because when you have lupus, you sleep, your organs shut down or slows down very slowly. So he'll just come in randomly and massage my feet while I'm asleep to circulate that blood, just in case I'm in a deep sleep. So he came in at night. Don't tell everybody, please. I am afraid of the dark. So
Yeah, when she told me that, I was like, huh?
yes, big bad tits, big bully tit. Yes, I am. I don't feel no darkness. So mind you, I was ill, and he came in, and I noticed all the lights were off. But my son looked like, you ever seen them little glow worms? Now he was already high yellow. You know, he was the white baby, the mailman baby is what they called him. But he was illuminated. And he was like, Mom, this is something that I chose to do. I didn't think of it. I just told him, get the other feet, son. Yeah, okay. Just get the other foot. Besides that one. And I remember him going out the door. And right there and there, I was like, that's going to be the last time I see my child.
Man.
But I couldn't get up. I couldn't get up. And he shut that door. And I hurried up and shut my eyes because what? It was the darkness. And I went to sleep. All I know, I woke up that next morning feeling grand. I'm talking about, I'm making breakfast, did my daily routine, put the sheets in the laundry, start chopping up the onions and potatoes because I wanted, that gets everybody out the bed. You're not allowed to sleep in my house past 12 o'clock in the afternoon. But that will get you out.
Was real. The sun was shining bright
The
that day.
sun was shining so beautiful in the house. I love sunlight. Go ring that bell, grandson. Tut-tut. And the sun was shining so beautiful in there. And all I know, my grandchildren at the time were like 4. And they come down, they smelled the food, but no Jaquan. So I was like, well, go up there and get Jaquan, because the food. Now, normally everybody runs down. Even though he couldn't eat, he still would come down to see what I cooked. Like, oh, that looks good, Mom. That looks good. But no Jaquan. So Kingston went upstairs, the grandson. They're twins, Kingston and Rowan, by the way. Kingston went up there to tell Jaquan it's time to eat. I know Kingston came down and said, Uncle Kwani went to goo. I said, went to goo? I said, ain't no goo, because, it's COVID. Shut down. So Rowan, the conservative one, I'll check. She came downstairs and said, Grandma, yeah, he went to goo. And I said, it ain't no goo, which they were talking about school. So, so I said, let me go check. Because sometimes when we lay in the covers, it don't look like nobody
exactly
in the bed. So I said, well, let me go check. So I went up there and I snatched the covers to say rise and shine. And my baby wasn't there. So I said, now it's just us here in Georgia. My daughter lives in her own domain, and we do not leave without letting each other know where we're going, just for emergency purpose. We won't share our location, but we'll let you know where we're going.
Amen.
So I called, and the phone went straight to voicemail. My heart dropped. He don't do that. If his phone died, he's going to get someone's phone off the street and call me. My phone is dead, Mom. I'm on my way home. I'm here. So now I'm panicking. I text the group, my mother and my brothers, and I'm like, Jaquan isn't here. Mind you, I already told them how I felt and asking everyone to please speak to Jaquan. I said, he's not here. What was
I
that?
told you I had a dog.
That's not a dog. That's a whole hound. You got. He looked like he was fussing at something. But
Somebody at the door.
so Jaquan, I called my mom. I was panicking. I'm like, Jaquan not here. My daughter Shania walked in. She was like, Mom, what's wrong? I was like, Jaquan's not here, and his phone going straight to voicemail. She was like, Mom, that door was cracked. She had to take care of something in the morning. She stayed the night that night. And she was like, when I left, I was mad because the door was cracked. I was like, Dad, we slept with the door open, open the whole time. So I'm like, no, Shania, I feel like something isn't right. And so I called 911. I said, my child not here. He had an accident. He wasn't himself. And I feel he did something that he gonna regret, that we all will regret. And they immediately, because of COVID, they immediately say we're sending out an officer. So then I'm crying because I already know it. I already knew it. I'm devastated. I'm like, my son not here, and all I hear is, I'm sorry, Mom. So when I heard I'm sorry, Mom, I'm running. Do I normally carry heavy artillery? Yes. My children growing up, the 14 children growing up, like I said, I was the blocker. Okay. I guess I'm paying for that. So, because I did turn all my guns in, I noticed one of the tools wasn't there. We call it tools here. It is what it is. Yes, I teach my children at a young age how to utilize the tool. We never know when we all have to protect ourselves. Once I see them little Chinese girls and systematic with those utility tools, I said I'm teaching my children.
And how old were your children?
When they first learned how to operate one of the hand tools, they were 7. In Arkansas, you legally have to be 7 years old with your guardian, with a parent, not a guardian, with a parent, to learn how to utilize the tool, to be taught. And they get certificates and stuff. So and that was something that was fun. Every Thursday, me and Jaquan would go out, and it was ladies' night, so I get free bullets, So we shooting all night. Try. That was a sport. We didn't use it. It's a lot of gun violence. I thank God. Out of all 9 boys, and they weren't like in the streets.
They wasn't for the streets. They wasn't for the streets.
I mean, they were street. They go hard, but they wasn't. I thank God I didn't experience that life. Yeah, yeah. Because Lil Wayne wasn't allowed in my house. I love Lil Wayne, but he played in my house. But that's a different story. But they were 7 when they were taught. So. He also said, I apologize. He kept saying going to the beach and go to the gun range to let off some attention. And I'm like, everything is shut, Jaquan. What are we going to do? So when I noticed the tool was going, I was like, Shania, the tool going. No, I called my mom. And she was like, he was 20. So she was like, just call the police, let them know.
And we were still locked down?
We were still locked down.
They said that when the lockdown happened, that it was just so much going on.
Yeah, like a lot of police brutalities, a lot of race. It was just like everybody went low. A lot of suicide, a lot of it. A lot of gun violence, black on black crime. That's the saddest part for me. Is any crime is sad, but it is what it is. When it's your people, it hurts. It hurts. With that black on black crime. So it was so much going on. So my mom was like, you got to call them and let them know that he packing. And he took like a whole case of shells. Whole case of bullets. So he went up there. I went in his room. He took a tent, some speakers. Took a speaker, his laptop. He made it like he was going camping. So I told my daughter, I said, I pray he just letting off some steam, which is utilizing the making a range and shoot. And I was just nervous. I said, when it gets to that last bullet, I was like, wow, I was so scared. But he never came home. But I felt every bit. I was like, my son is going. Oh, don't say that. Be positive, be positive. I was like, nah, Jesus already came to me, told me I was going to lose someone dear to me. Now, mind you, I just lost my father. So my mom and dad been together since Oochie Coochie days. So I'm like, yeah, I said the Oochie, they were young. Mm-hmm. So, I'm praying, like, I didn't want to lose my mother. Because, usually when you use the one parent and they've been together so long, you lose the next parent. So,
of a broken heart.
Yeah, of a broken heart. So I'm praying like, oh God, I hope it's not my mom. I hope my mom just praying. And it was mine. So I knew it. And my before this transpired, before February 17th, can I share this, Miss Peachy, what we said about my granddaughter?
Of course, you sure can.
My granddaughter kept dreaming. My daughter called me and she was like, Rowan keep dreaming that she was lost in the woods and Jesus took her home. She had this dream like 3 times. And she was like, Mom, this is the 3rd time she had this dream. So I'm calling and asking you, what can you, get from her to having this dream? So I said, well, did you ask her, what home Jesus took her to? She said, yes, the blue house. Right then and there, I was like, Shanira, we about to lose somebody. When God gives us vision or signs, it's not going to be as straightforward, like, okay, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for telling me. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be totally backwards. Jaquan and Rowan relationship, that was her uncle, but that was like her little Prince Charming, to her.
Yeah.
And, just hearing the dreams as they grow on, because this happened when they were 4. So they're 9 now. And the dreams of her growing up, of her having with Jaquan, he made her so princessy. I believe he helped make her the ladylike young lady she is today.
Oh.
Rowan, you want to come say hi? Marie! Mama!
Yeah, come say hi. Come say hi to us over here in Peachy Land.
It was their connection. It was their connection. He was preparing her. So
yeah.
Come say hi to Jason.
I think when he came back, it was for him to say his goodbyes.
Yeah. Say hello.
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 And this is Mamas. I call her Mamas.
Hey, Mamas. Hey, beautiful. I like your nails.
So she kept having that dream. And that's pretty much how we found him, in the woods. And Jesus took him home. But I knew my baby was going home. I mean, the cab. One reason why I gave the cab a shout out, because it was first, with the detectives and all. They was a little groomy, like, oh, he'll be back home, and it sounded like they was doing this. He'll be back home. You, his mom, y'all probably had some argument, and it's no, lady. This is maybe me and the other boys, but not me and Jaquan.
How long did you have to deal with that? With the police officers acting that way?
Not long at all, because I believe, the universe stepped in. I received a call from the lieutenant and the captain. And they said, you won't be dealing with no detectives anymore. Take this number. You'll be dealing with us directly. And it was Lieutenant Harvey and Captain Golden. To this day, Captain Golden is still our little hero. You know, so like, oh,
Yeah,
Captain.
Clark. So we
Yes.
don't get that too much over here on PGT time. We do not
No,
get that right.
no, I'm talking about. They was like, you can call anytime you want, and I cried 3-4 all hours a night, and they will pick up that phone. Till this day, they will pick up that phone.
So from the day that he left your home that morning,
March 25th, 2020.
and what day or what date was he found?
He was found, I was told December 2nd, but that's when he came to me and told me, we found your son. We believe we found your son.
A long time.
But they found him December 1st.
Oh.
December
So you
1st.
went without knowing all of that time.
I carried him for 9 months, and I had to wait for 9 months.
Amen.
9 months?
9 months. March 25th to December 2nd.
Do you believe he lived for a while? Like he just kind of like did his own thing for a moment, a time, and then he said, all right.
I believe because of Rowan's
That's a good question,
dream.
Jason.
Yes, it is, Jason. I really like you, Jason. You can call me after the show if you want. But
nigga, you so funny, girl.
I have to keep laughing from crying.
Yeah.
So everybody's not allowed to see your emotions. That's what I learned with grief and God. But if you go back to Rowan's dream when she was lost in the woods, and you go back to hearing that he had a head collision, and at the time when we did get the records, that he had his right side of his brain was swollen. So I call it shell shock. What y'all call it? PTSD.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
I don't even like saying that stuff. But I believe he got lost in the woods, and he believed that was something he was supposed to have did.
I think he got lost in the woods.
Yeah. And like the devil took over, you know. Spiritually, I think he went out there because like I said, he was a spiritual.
Needed to leave.
He was so he was just, everybody loved him. He never disrespected no one. Well, of course, he told the teacher to get her freaking refrigerator, but he didn't like verbally abuse anyone. He didn't mistreat anyone's daughter, you know. I don't know. If he sold anything, it was water. You may see him. He was one of the first Mohicans out there selling water near Kroger's in the highway. But
what was his final cause of death?
His final cause of death was a blow to the head.
A blow, so he fell.
It could be, but it does. Okay, I'm gonna put it to you truthful. They had put that on his death certificate that he shot himself in the head.
Okay.
I kindly called down there and demand that they change that immediately. I'm not taking no death certificate to take care of my son's matters where he died. The cause of death is shot himself in the head. Now, had he been a white young man, no disrespect, because we got white people in our family, but if he was a white male, it would have been a type of blow to the head.
Okay.
I see what you're saying.
So, but you know, have in the reports, they don't have the gun, but it does appear to be a gunshot shell. It does appear to be self-conflicted, the way the body was laid. And thank God to the faithfulness. It was two adults, married couple, been married, I believe, now for going on 55 years, that I am begging DeKalb County Police for me to meet them. They were dedicated where they feed the deers every 1st of December. Every 1st of December. And they found my baby's body. And they found him in the woods. I knew it. It was beautiful. Everybody kept saying, ain't no woods. I lived on Browns Mills in Georgia.
Arabian Mountains. So you were in the Arabian
I was
Mountains.
just far down where Browns Mill Elementary and the community center and the
Yeah.
football field. So they was like, this lady is crazy. She ain't no woods over there. And I'm like, it's woods over there. And I had people calling up to the police station saying she didn't kill her son and dragged him in the woods. I went through it. I went through it.
Yeah, I remember you told me
Because
that.
I knew where he was at. Mind you, we have angels. If you're not spiritually connected, you will not understand. If you're not spiritually connected, there's no way you can live with grief. You never get over it, but you have to learn how to live with it.
Exactly. Now, did you and your family go search? And how long did you and your family search for him?
I'm not going to practice how to lie. I did not move a muscle because I knew my son was gone. I didn't want to see that. Shout out to New Birth Baptist. New Birth Cathedral, the church.
Mhm.
The members did get together. They did search with my daughter, my cousin Shonda and her children, because it was COVID. People were scared to get out. But they came and got out. The Chevron gas station, anybody prejudiced that you could imagine, right? Indians who interacted with my son and thought he was amazing. And they searched. Did I move? I knew what was in the woods. So I didn't search. But they searched probably, and DeKalb County Police. They were knocking on doors, asking to search house. No, they searched. I thank God they did search. We'll say about a good 2 to 3 days. It was a search. And once I did receive some type of medical record, that's when everybody was like, let's give it a chance. Maybe he can come home. He could be a memory lapse. He could be on a spiritual journey. I already knew he was on a spiritual journey, but I was like, don't take this long. And I worked real hard to not have a meltdown. I still was active in the community. Lithonia Lions, cheerleaders, we stayed practice the football. We're champions #1, Lithonia Lion football, if y'all want to sign up. Yes, 3 in the nation. And so I stay active. Me and my daughter, we stay active. But that knock on the door changed my life. December 2nd changed my life. That knock on the door.
And you don't have to answer this. It's just my inquiring mind. How was the body found? So December 2nd, I think you said.
I apologize, Jason. I didn't mean to interrupt. But December 2nd is when I was told. December 1st is when the couple found Jaquan's body. They were feeding the deers.
Okay. Do you know what how the condition of the body was?
You know what? When you have incidents as a missing child or a child lost from gun violence, you are really being studied. You'd be surprised how you're studied. And they knew the relationship. They knew the connection Jaquan and I had as mother and son. They begged me not to. They said I do have the right, but they prefer that not to see him like that. And I'm glad they talked me out of it. Some people have to see, but I just felt my baby wouldn't want me to see.
So your lasting memory was that glow that you saw the night before.
And that kiss.
Amen.
And that foot rub.
Oh, yes. I miss it dearly. And so when they came, knocked on my doors, I shared this with Peaches, a little bit something to make you smile. When they came and knocked on the door, don't tell nobody, but I stole some grapes from Walmart. I was eating.
Oh, yeah. Oh, y'all listen to this. Listen to this, y'all. She almost took me out when
you
she
thought
told me
Walmart was coming.
And I heard somebody tell me they stole from Walmart and they used their debit card and the cops came knocking on the door because they called them from the camera. So, I'm eating these grapes. My daughter was like, Mom, that's stealing. I was like, so when we get to it, I bought them. It was less than a half a pound, but I bought it, And so when they knocked on the door, I'm like scared shitless. Like I'm going to jail. So they kept knocking. I'm talking about it was like 5, 7 of them. I was like, all for some grapes. So I was like, look, let me just open the door and say it wasn't me. So I opened up
And
the
didn't you
door.
say something fell over in the bathroom or something?
Oh, you want me to go that spiritual
See,
detail?
I remember. I'm telling you, I remember. You did
Yes,
mention
yes.
it.
Well, before we go to the fall down, something fell down in the bathroom. My daughter brought Kingston and Rowan over.
Yeah.
And they was like, she was like, Mom, they just had to see you. We're working from home. So I was like, okay, well, I'm glad you brought them on my lunch. So Kingston and Rowan gave me a hug, oh, we love you, Grandma. And they was on their way out the door. So Kingston told Rowan, tell Grandma. I'm looking like, tell Grandma what? He was like, tell her, Rowan. Now I have an attitude because I don't, I'm a grandma. They're my first grandkids. I'm ready to block up. And so Rowan said, I had a dream about Jesus. And I said, oh, that's nice. But I'm like, here we go. Her and her dreams. And she said, Rowan said, Jesus said, Uncle Kwani is in heaven with him. Even though I wanted to push her down and spank her and be like, don't you say no mess like that. But I hugged her and I said, well, I'm glad. I said, well, if he is, I'm glad he's with Jesus, because I was glad. Suicide will have you thinking, like, even it is written, like, it's a sin, you're going to hell, nobody want to do your funerals, so I had these spiritual, emotional roller coaster going on, praying for my son. Not once have I disrespected God or was angry with God. I'm sorry, devil, that didn't work. But I still had those things going on, like, it's my son's soul. Because when your child going, I can't save him. You can by prayer, but I'm wanting to hold my baby, like, where you at? Purgatory? What's purgatory? So it was scary. So once she left, I shut the door and I looked up and I said, God, please. And I got back online and all I hear is some stuff fell down. I went into the bathroom where I heard some stuff fell down while I was looking. And I looked in the bathroom and all my fragrance fell down. There's no window in there. Like, how did it stand on perfect foundation and just slide down like that? Now I gotta pee, but I ran out the bathroom. I'm scared. I'm a little nervous. And I called Shania. I said, Shania, I said, she was like, Mom, you okay? I said, all the fragrance fell down the bathroom. And she was like, okay, I don't want to drive and talk. I'll talk to you when I get home. Hung up with her. 2 seconds later, knock, knock, knock. The police at the door.
This is crazy. Especially when the grandbaby, your granddaughter, just sat there and told you that. This was like within minutes.
Within minutes. Within 5 minutes. Since she left, that door shut. All within 5 minutes. And I was petrified. And they said, Miss Roberts, because Jaquan's a Roberts. I'm happily divorced, but I'm a Brown. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, this can't be about the great because they didn't use Brown. So I was like, ooh, thank you, God. They was like, they asked me again, you Tanjineka Roberts? I said, yeah, but they looked like they were scared. He's scared, I'm scared. They were too scared, we all scared. And I said, I know y'all not here to tell me y'all found my son. Because, I seen the movies when they be all coming at the door and stuff. It wasn't like 2 officers like, we found Jaquan, he's in the hospital, let's go. It was, they were, I don't know why they came so packed deep like that. I don't know if they was worried about me, what I would do, I don't know. But they were deep. And they said, can we come in? Now I'm nervous because they still didn't tell me. I said, please don't tell you about my son. And then I'm nervous to let them in because y'all all white cops. Like, I had her clutch my purse. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I was nervous. I was scared. But I let them in. And like I said, that, I don't know if y'all watch the movies when they find out their child dead and they're screaming, no, that's real. That's real. That's like the most, I never been physically punched in the stomach. Right. But if I had, that's what it felt like.
Wow. Now, this is my last question that I want to ask you, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into the tribute video. It was 9 months. 9 months had went past.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned to us that God had already told you that he was gone and that he was home with him. Was there somewhere in the back of your head, whether big or small, that you was still hopeful that he was still out there alive?
Of course. Of course. I mean, me and my best friend, Romaine. I love you, Romaine. We got a call that somebody was walking near the gas station. Everybody was looking for Jaquan. I was tired of getting calls. Lord forgive me, but I was tired because it was wrong. It wasn't a lead that I wanted to lead me to.
Exactly.
But when I seen this particular character working, looked just like Jaquan, I'm jumping out the truck. We were darn in the highway. And I turned that young man around, and I was like, my son going.
It sounds like a movie. That's like a.
It does.
Movie.
It does.
Halle
It
Berry
sounds like a movie.
Looking for Isaiah. You know what I mean?
And my son loved Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry actually put my son business and I on the map. Like we were passing out little keepsake. This is our business. This is our stuff. This is our stuff. And what's that movie called? Acronym,
yeah.
When that came out, somebody was like, Tanji, look at Twitter. And I was like, what? Look at Twitter. And Tyler Perry posts our snacks and stuff.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God. He posted.
Shout out to Tyler. He do help us black folks.
We never knew we passed it out to him. And he was snacking on his snack, watching the premiere of Akron. So,
wow.
It was, I thank God. For the time, the 20 years that I spent with my child. I think they were the best 20 years of my life. My grandchildren, I believe my grandchildren and Cheryl, my sister's, she's my best friend, but my sister's children, I believe they're going to help me with the next best 20 years. But I mean, he was so amazing. He kissed me every day. He see me wake up before he leave, which that stopped that month that he left. But I just thank God, just for the time. And I thank God just to dream about him. And the one thing I think I'm highly favored, no disrespect, but some people are highly favored. Look at my baby, Kingston Rowan. Come see.
Yes. I can tell by the pictures that you sent me, plus the pictures that I went on your pages and saw. I can tell that you guys had a very, very special bond. A very special bond. And he was so loved. But he was so loved. Well, we are about to get into the tribute video. Y'all. Usually our tribute videos are for people that was murdered. And their case is still open and they still looking for the killer. That's usually who our tribute videos are for. Because we want people to watch these videos and really, like, it really touched their heart. And then they're supposed to go and tell the police, whichever way they're gonna get there. That's what they're supposed to do. And then Jason come in and then he say all this little bad stuff to make them mad. Oh yeah, Jason goes in. Oh yeah, Jason goes in and make them mad and all that. And then they go tell the police. That's what it usually be. But tonight I wanted to present something to you in remembrance of your son. So here we go.
If I saw you in heaven, would it be the same? If I saw you in heaven, oh, I must be strong and carry on, 'cause I know I don't belong here in heaven. Oh, would you hold my hand if I saw you in heaven? Oh, would you help me stand if I saw you in heaven? Oh, I'll find my way through night and day, 'cause I know I just can't stay here in heaven. Oh, oh, here in heaven. Oh, 'cause I don't belong here in heaven.
All right, we are back. We are back. Hey, kiddos, I see y'all back there looking at y'all uncle. But that was a gift from me and Janika. I will be sending it to you right after the show. You can do whatever you want to do with it. You can share it with others. If you want to put it on your platform, feel free to do so just as well. But it's for you to do whatever
Oh,
you want
thank
to
you. I appreciate it. Was that Jason singing?
No, he
Oh.
wish.
You ain't had to
We
say.
I
actually
just
we
had to
wish.
say that.
Look, we wish it was him.
You didn't have to say it like this. No.
Sorry,
No.
sorry. There is one thing I want to say though. This young lady, Alita Mitchell, do you know her?
Aleda? Yes.
Alita, you know her, Jason?
I do. Yes.
Okay, Alita Mitchell. She put 988 in the chat, and I didn't post it. I seen it
I
later. I
seen it
seen it.
too.
But I was like, why is she putting 988 in the chat? And then I think she thought about it. And she was like, hold on, let me put some more. So there you guys go. If you or anyone you know are going through tough times and need someone to speak to, dial 988. We are here for you and want to listen and assist you. All right. So 988, y'all. We're gonna leave that up for a little while. Um, now,
Thank you, Miss Mitchell.
yes, thank you, Miss Mitchell. We need that. Yes. Now I know it's hard, Tanjanika, for you to come up here on Peach Tea Time and tell your loved one story, your son. But if there's any mothers out there, and we have had mothers on the show that lost their child through suicide. What are some of the things that mothers deal with in their head that they don't come out and speak about?
Yeah, can go ahead. Excuse. Go ahead, Jesse. They you s- you ask that question again, please.
Yes, for some of the mothers that's out there watching, like I said, we've had mothers on the show that dealt with suicide. What are some of the things that they think about in their head that they don't talk about with us or with their family and friends?
Guilt. We blame ourselves. I'm gonna say me, what I experienced. I know I experienced of blaming myself. I experience of trying to figure out what did I did wrong. I'm not a saint, but I do treat people how I want to be treated. So I know I didn't have no type of did no heinous act or mistreated someone on purpose. I was just like, what is it? And I blanked myself, and that that's the main thing. It's blaming. You blame yourself, and you have to work on yourself to not blame yourself. And these two that's here, they know it's getting around Thanksgiving season, so they like, Mom, we want to stay with Grandma. I'm like, I don't want nobody to stay here. But they here, and they help. And even though you don't want to surround yourself with no one, it's good for family to come check on you.
It is.
Because you don't want to surround yourself with no one. I didn't want to go outside. I felt, by having my child being deceased by suicide, I felt like people were looked down upon. I was looked down upon. I can't. It's just, you feel like you're alone. And I didn't go through alone. Mind you, he has 2 other siblings, and the other 11, because I can't say their grief was worse or more than mine, but I just know how I felt as a parent, that I felt alone. And, where his father was at, it was no way that we can even see each other face to face, because he's on a boat. We're going to say he on a boat. But he on a boat. And he ain't on no vacation, but he on definitely on the boat.
She said not a vacation, Jason. He on a boat.
I felt all alone. I felt like it was my fault. I felt like I'm out here doing for the community, opening up my doors to people's children, loving them genuinely, and I can save everybody, but I couldn't save my son. And that did something to me. I mean, I was drinking, I was abusing pain medication. Like I went through it. And nobody was around during because of COVID, and I don't know any other reasons why after COVID. But I was by myself, particularly with my daughter and my grandchildren. And I had to play super mom around them because I didn't want them. They see me broken, but I didn't want to abuse them with. I wanted them to heal. But
Charlotte looking like she about to jump out her chair over there. She
go ahead,
like
Charlotte, talk to me.
I'm looking at her. She keep going like.
It's just part of the process. It is part of the process. And it's part of the healing process, One of the stages of grief is to blame yourself. It is to look back and think of the things, but again, and I say this each and every week, you have a gift that's been given to you to be able to spread to someone else, because those were those things, we as parents, we know our children, and we just can't quite put our hands on certain things because we don't know everything. God either authorizes or he ordains. And I say that all the time, and this was just something that was meant to happen. But it was no fault of yours. It was nothing that you did. It was nothing that you could have undone. It was God's will. And so part of that grief process, now that we're getting over that and you're going through the process of it, is to tell other parents, other moms especially, about, this is what I experienced. This is what I saw. And I reached out because you did reach out. You did ask for help. You did do those things that were necessary. And, again, it was just no fault of, or just a misunderstanding, miscommunication, or a lack of knowledge that they had on the other side of the phone. But again, God was still with you all the way through it. He sent so many signs. So many little signs and wonders.
We will talk to you. I don't care if you do not believe in Jesus Christ. If something happened, you're going to fall on your knees, and you're You gonna hear them.
Amen. Yeah.
You gonna know
But
who's.
you are, your story will live on. Your story is just beginning. It's just beginning
Yeah.
because I see the strength in you building as we speak even now. Just to be able to start having those conversations, even if it's just in your community, so that other people will know, and especially because there are other people that are suffering. There are other people that are grieving, and it might not be the same kind of grief, because for the
Mhm.
same reason, but grief is grief.
Yes, there's no level to it. But
Hmm.
the only thing that can help anyone live with grief, you have to have a spiritual relationship.
Most definitely.
Got to. You got to.
No, it's no way around it. So I don't, and it's crazy because I didn't feel fully delivered until I lost my child. I never knew what that meant. I mean, and this goes for back to the faith because it's people who still missing their loved ones today, the missing persons. If you
Yeah.
don't have faith that God gonna open that door and bring your child back to you, dead or alive, you don't have nothing at all. And the group I was in, it was like you kept saying God was going to bring your baby home. You kept, and oh my God, I'm missing my child for 24 years or 42 years. And I looked at them like that was crazy. I said, well, y'all better get y'all some faith because
I know that's right.
I know my God told me how
Who you
faithful.
serve, yes.
And I was like, look, my baby. So if you do not have a spiritual relationship with the higher power above, you can't live with grief.
Amen.
You either commit suicide yourself or die from a broken heart. Point blank, period.
And the fact that you reached out to other, like you joined a group of other grieving parents. A lot of times, especially in our
They
community.
made me do it. I ain't want to do that.
Well, it was good for you.
The psychiatrist was cracking up. He was like, no, you good. But
It was
I
good
don't
for
know.
you.
No, it wasn't. That was
Yes,
the
it was.
person.
We
Like,
can
they
sit
was
here now
crying.
and we can have this conversation. It was good.
No, they
But
even
other
Newberg put me in this type of the grievancy group. I couldn't take that. I said, look, y'all, no. I mean, not to say I didn't cry. I woke up every morning screaming like it was a bad nightmare. But as kings and queens, get it together.
You gotta get
That was
I
depressing.
get it.
People like going there. I'm not going in them group. They are depressing. They talk 24/7. Like, say something about what God did. Say you heard his voice. Say you dreamt that God put him on a train. Like, you can find your son. You can learn to live with grief. It's people who grieve for their parents. Mind you, me and my dad, we were BFF. People thought I was going to die then when I lost my father. It was a year before my child. And, but I seen my father mourn his mother. I couldn't be selfish and not let him go. You understand what I'm saying? So, but that goes back to a spiritual relationship. So if you don't have one, you cannot survive.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Well, y'all, we have came to the end of the show. The end of the show. Tanjanika, every time I have a guest on, I always let them end the show. I ain't tell you that one. But don't worry. Don't worry. I'm gonna tell you what to say, girl. I'm telling you what to say.
No.
Don't even worry about it, girl. Charlotte, I'm sorry. Charlotte, is there anything that you want to say before I drop you down?
No, it's just been a blessing and a pleasure speaking with you. God's got you on this journey. Wherever it's taking you, go with him. I see him all over you. So blessings to you. Blessings to you.
I see him.
We just love Charlotte. We love her so much.
I know. Don't drop her. I need her right now. You want me to say something verbatim?
No, it's not verbatim.
Okay.
All right, Charlotte. We love you. Stay on for a couple seconds after we end the broadcast. Okay, thank you. Jason.
Yeah.
When I tell you Tanjanika love Jason.
Y'all tripping.
I mean, you know what? Black men rock,
Yes,
absolutely.
They rock. So I appreciate you, Jason.
Yes,
Jason can
likewise,
be
likewise.
out there in the world robbing, stealing, and killing. But instead, which is what a lot of
Right.
a lot of people feel in our community, that's what our black men are doing.
You're
So
right.
Nice.
for him to be
Nice.
on the platform here on PGT Time, Jason, no, I tell him thank you all the time. He be telling you don't
Hey.
have to keep saying thank you. I be like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Thank you.
No, appreciative.
But Jason, is there anything you want to say?
I'm very thankful for your story. I enjoyed your vulnerability. Not like enjoy, like oh, it was. I. It gives me hope that people can start doing that more. So for you to be as open with us about this situation and shed light on the most grief stricken or hardest part of your life is not easy because you reopened a wound that you're tending to. So I say thank you for that, and
But
thank you for being
our
vulnerable.
hand was over my heart, so no blood wasn't able to spill out.
Absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely, and I want to give praise to that young man. I see how you speak life and light into his name. Continue to say his name. Continue to
Yes,
keep
all the
him a
time.
vibrant presence amongst the family's life, not
Mhm.
just yours, but everyone, especially the young nieces and nephews. I guess that would be to him, right? 'Cause that's your
Yes.
grandchildren. Yes, nieces and
mm-hmm.
nephews. So especially to them. And then, like my girl said, Aleda, she says anybody, everybody that is out there having an issue that don't know who to go to, or your family has this thing over them where they say toughen up buttercup and keep it moving, and you just can't. Not to say that's you,
Hmm.
T, just not to say that's you, but that's any family that has melanin in them, because I was raised that way,
Yes.
and sometimes it's hard
Mm-hmm.
for us to express ourselves. There are people that are there to listen to you and give you helpful advice. So do down 988 if people are seeing something in their children that just is not clicking with them. And I praise you for being able to call a line and say, "Yo, my child ain't working right. The batteries ain't clicking. I didn't switch to him. I didn't made him food that he like. He ain't smelling, he looking different. Help me."
Right.
So anybody and everybody, if you see something, say something. It's just like anything else that we talk about. When it comes to domestic violence, when it comes to
Yes.
signs of suicide, any of that is out there, just say something. Call the number 988. People are always there to help you. But thank you.
Yes.
I
Thank you.
appreciate
And
that.
Miss Mitchell, feel free if you need some assistance answering those calls. I wouldn't mind helping.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Well, Jason, we finna go ahead and pull you down. Look, so I'm getting the message right now.
Oh,
I have cried lots through this show. I can see God resonating from this mama. Oh, they sent me that through my messenger. So people watching, they watching, and you was definitely helping some people tonight.
oh, God is.
Um, Tanjanika, I thank you.
I
I
thank
thank
you
you
for
so
having me.
much. Um, God makes no mistakes when He put us two together. I'm very, very thankful how we was introduced with each other
Yes.
just as well. And I just applaud you for coming on here tonight,
Yeah.
sharing with people that you don't even know, but you're out here trying to help, give them a peace of mind. This is what I go through. This is what I went through just as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now it's time for you to
Mhm.
talk, baby. It's time for you to end the show. I'm
Okay.
gonna put my
Let
own
me put
self
the hair
down,
down. Let me
girl.
put the hair down.
Go prepare yourself. Go prepare yourself. And these are the type of questions that I do ask people to talk about, when they end the show. So I want you to know that.
Mhm.
Um, one thing that I do is I listen. I listen very well. And one of the things that you mentioned during the show was that you tried to get help and you
Mhm.
called for help. And another thing that I heard you say that there was a young lady that did not even give you the opportunity to tell about what happened in the vehicle.
She didn't properly screen the
She
call.
did not properly screen the call. Now,
Had
not
she?
saying that that would have made sure that he would still be here today. I'm not saying that. But it still could have helped some type of way. Why? How it could have helped? It would have helped because when the time did come,
Yeah, it made
Tanjinika
me
wouldn't have
bitter.
to have that on her heart.
Yes, it made me bitter. It made me very upset that they have all these 501c3s to assist people and they're not
Mhm.
properly assist them. I do not
Exactly.
blame the hotline suicide establishment itself. I'm just upset of whoever answered that call. You didn't properly screen it. Regardless who called and what they said, there always should be questions to ask. You know,
And that's what
your
hold
job
on.
is to soothe that parent, that person on the other line.
And that's what I want you to talk about when I pull myself down. If this young lady is listening, if she's watching and if she's listening, what would you say to her at this moment? When you're done, I want you to put your church finger up. That's how I know you're done. And we're going to get into the tribute again. And we will be ending the show. And y'all already know what y'all got to do. Got to listen to my babies. All right, here you go. Don't forget that church finger, girl. And I want you to stay up just for a couple seconds after I end the broadcast as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye, y'all. I see y'all on Friday.
To the young lady that didn't properly screen my call for help, I'm not upset with you. I'm upset a little bit with the people who trained you. Um, I also thank you for checking me as a parent because I could have delivered the message a little bit better because everybody doesn't have a spiritual connection. But once again, I don't blame you. And I pray you're still helping that line. And I pray that you become a better customer service representative to someone who calls and need assistance or panicking, such as myself. Toodaloo, and I love you.
Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would it be the same if I saw you in heaven? Oh, I must be strong and carry on, 'cause I know I don't belong here in heaven. Oh, would you hold my hand if I saw you in heaven? Oh, would you help me stand if I saw you in heaven? Oh, I'll find my way through night and day, 'cause I know I just can't stay here in heaven. Oh, oh, here in heaven. Oh, 'cause I don't belong here in heaven.
return. PG return. PG return. PG return. PG return.